There is no passion to be found in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Our guest of honor today is a coach, digital real estate specialist, a social entrepreneur, and above all, a great human being. V. Sridhar, who's on a mission to create 1 lakh digital real estate experts and help 10,000 or more NGOs to become self-sustainable. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है श्रीधर जी.
Thank you so much, Rashi ji.
So, Sridhar ji, बताइए, how did it all start from a corporate career to an entrepreneur? Why did you choose entrepreneurship?
See, it was way back in 2000. In the 1999, the IT boom was too much at that point of time. And I was general manager of a large company at that time. And, just about in 2000, the Y2K recession took place. As an act of God, I got an opportunity of helping one NGO in getting about 35 lakhs from Ministry of Science and Technology. They were doing a phenomenal job, and they were actually wanting to provide economic independence to people in a village where about 1,000 families were living. So when I followed up and got this money for them, 6 months down the line, this gentleman told me that, see, look, whatever help that you had done in the past, I would like you to come and see what exactly is happening in that village now. So he took me there, and I could see about nearly 1,000 family people standing in the queue in a hot sun, right? One behind the other. And then I was wondering why this kind of crowd, like, as if some movie tickets are being released or some ration is being given or something like that. There was a queue system and all that. So I asked, I could find out in a few minutes time that they had placed 2 Maharaja chairs in a conventional hall, small hall it was there, and people outside were waiting. And as soon as we got inside, they started garlanding, they started giving flowers and all those things. So all that customary things got over. And after that, somebody, one of the president, the leader of that particular village, gave a signal, carry on. Okay, like this. He said, okay. Then I could see a small kid, coming and then, touching our feet and then moving forward. So I thought, okay, a young boy is coming, he wants some wishes, so I gave him a wishes. So it happened for 2-3 people. Then I also saw a 90-year-old man also coming and wanting to do the similar kind of a thing. So that is where I stopped. I said, no, this is not done. And actually what they were trying to tell both of us is that we have not seen God. Okay. But you have come as a messenger of God. So we would like to worship you. That is the kind of, message that they wanted to convey to us. And that that was my turning point. So that is the time that I actually got into the field of becoming a social entrepreneur.
We've had so many guests, and I think this is an amazing story what you're just sharing, and we are also lucky to have you on our show today. Tell us about your special mission. When we go through your webpage, a lot of your verticals speak about this, that you're on a special mission.
I have been helping NGOs in the area of fundraising, because the biggest challenge for NGOs who are doing social work are primarily facing the fund crunch. So I had built in my skill level, my knowledge level and all got increased because I am from the IT background and I have used the digital platform very well. And I know that how strong the online world is. So even in the recent past, if you look at the COVID-19 situation, pandemic and all those things, for me, neither the real estate business nor the other activity that I was doing got affected at all, because I was very strong in digital. And I was teaching all these people that how you can use the digital platform to manage your NGOs in the area, especially in the area of fundraising part of it. So I used to educate NGOs saying that, look, how strongly you need to expose yourself to the digital world, because the digital world donors would like to see what kind of good work you're doing. So you have to showcase that. If you do that activity and keep it to yourself, and without letting people know, how will donors know that what work you're doing? Right? So unless you expose yourself to the donors, they will not come forward and donate to you. So you need to be present in the digital platform very strongly. There is a phenomenal work carried on by one Mr. Arup Sengupta in Kolkata. Okay, his NGO name is Notun Jibon, means new life. New life. In Bengali, it is called as Notun Jibon. Is giving new life to people, especially the sex workers and their children. If you look at the sex workers' condition during the Corona period, they were totally out of the job. There was no sort of any kind of income for them at all. So what he did for them was to, provide them skill training on sewing machines. So he taught them how to make masks and how to make mosquito nets. And then because of his social media presence, he was able to get orders for all that masks and mosquito nets in bulk quantity. Now today, the demand for for the mask preparation and the mosquito nets are so huge that he is able to feed nearly about 1,200 families. And in the last 3 months of his association with me, I have made him self-sustainable. Okay, that is one living example that I have. And I have many other people also in the group. I have a group, NGO group, where I've got nearly about 35 of them who are presently with me. And each and every one of them, after associating with me, they have got a live testimony to tell that their fundraising also has improved. And as far as the real estate industry is concerned, if you look at the real estate industry market has slumped according to the industry and all those things, which is a fact, right? But it is not zero. It has not gone down. If it was 100 sales last year, it has come down to something like about 60 or 70 this year. Okay, but it is not absolutely zero. So in that 60 or 70, how smartly you can be there and you sell your property. So I used to tell them that, look, gone are the days where you are looking after only your area of operations, right? Now come out of that, sit before the laptop and the mobile, right? And look at properties which are available all over the country and connect with people who are in those areas. There are plenty, thousands and lakhs of agents who are available, and especially the brand with which I am associated with. We have a network of agents all over the country. So therefore, they can always connect with us and then sell a property in Bangalore. A person sitting in Delhi can sell a property in Bangalore.
So adding to what you just said, why don't you share one unique technique that can be used by the NGOs to raise funds? One simple technique, since we are also an NGO.
So let me take you to my Facebook account. Okay. So go here, then search for philanthropists. Okay. And go to the groups. So can you see here, this philanthropist groups has got about nearly 1.4K, 1.5K members. Okay, in this group you can go and join. So these are people who are actually, you will find that there are some people who are in this group who will donate for a good cause. They are available there. So you need to go and showcase in that groups. So like that, there are many such groups which are available. So philanthropies is one such area. So if you go there and you look at groups, then you will see here how many groups are there. You see 1, 2, 3 Philanthropists of America, 5K members are there, 5,000 members, right? Philanthropist group, all this group you can join. So there'll be something like about 200 to 300 groups if you join, and if you showcase your activities in amongst these groups, you will find that from some corner of the world, people will get touched with your story and they will come forward to donate.
So what is No Hungry Child? There is a lot of mention about that.
No Hungry Child is my trust. I am the managing trustee of that trust. I started this in the year 2007. So how did I start was that, I happened to see a child, having food from the dustbin. Okay. So it was sitting in front of the dustbin and trying to have food, and it was covering the food. There were 3 dogs around. So the child was not actually afraid of the dogs snatching away, biting or something like that, but it was more afraid that whether the dog will snatch away the food that the child was having. So it was covering the food like this and then having food. Then that particular scene, touched me, and I got down from the vehicle that I was driving. Immediately provided the idlis which is required for the baby. I got her that, and then asked her to take me to the place where she was living. So she took me to a place where at that time, today it is Bayapanalli metro station is there. Metro station has been, it was a slum earlier, and that has now been converted as a metro station now. Okay. In that place, when I went there, I saw 700 slum families were living there. So in the house that she was living, it was made of mud, and there was no firewood or something like that. And the parents had, left her to herself, and then they had gone for their daily wage. So the people around them, they told me that, generally in that place, it happens like that. They don't care about the children. The children are asked to fetch themselves their food. So children first attempt that they will try to do is to go and steal a bread. So they will go to a bakery, they will try to steal a bread, they will be unsuccessful, but the hunger drives them finally to the dustbin. Okay, so when I heard this story, then I thought that I should do something for this, eradicating this hunger problem. So I started funding for myself initially, and as I was doing it, more people came and saw that what I was doing. They came forward and lent a hand. They said that I will also come and support you, and that's how we started doing that. Today, with the association of over about 220 NGOs across the country, we are able to feed close to around 21,000 children every day.
Unless and until you speak to someone, you don't know the kind of good work they are doing. But there is hype always about the bigger brands. But, the real work is actually done by people like you, Sridharji, and I'm really proud that you agreed to come on a platform. But I'm sure you must have faced a lot of challenges and obstacles initially.
Yeah, so see, what we had was initially the challenges that we faced was I wanted to provide food for the children. Okay, because the children are the one who cannot be asked to go and work and then earn your money and then earn your bread. We can't say that. Children deserves at least one meal a day, at least good food. So when I was wanting to provide food for the children, the elders used to come because it was a free food available. Okay, all the elders, all the people, locality people used to come and ask for food. So it was a big challenge for me to tell them that, look, my idea of giving this food is for the children and not for you. You people know you have your food. You can always get your food. But how do you refuse to them? So I had a challenge there. Then I came out with a coupon system. Then when I introduced a coupon system, even the coupon was being brought by the elders saying that it is for my child. Then I brought an ID system. I brought in an ID. I said each child should wear the ID and come. Only then I'll be able to give the food. So like that, this challenges I was facing. Then the third thing was that, cooking. When we had to cook and then take the food, we found that the cooks will take off suddenly. All of a sudden, they will not come, right? And then we had a challenge to cook ourselves and go and provide that. So we could do, but when the numbers started increasing, then we decided that let us give it to a specialist, and we outsourced that particular work to people. And then there also we started facing problem, saying that, look, when they transport the vehicle from one end to another end, tire gets punctured, children will be waiting. All these challenges we went through, but somehow each and every obstacle we found a solution. We did not see that as a great problem. We just saw that as an opportunity for us to find a solution to this problem.
Yeah, if you are, someone who has done the groundwork would exactly know the problems. And there are a lot of problems when you start with doing social work. Let's talk a little bit more about the concept of digital real estate. Like, is there a course for that? Or, how do you have a training program, you told us?
Yes, I have. See, what I do is I teach them how they can generate close to around 200 leads every month. Month on month, you can generate 200 leads. provided you follow some simple techniques. I have got a 30-day course wherein I've got about 48 video lessons, which will teach them how to crack a rental deal in about 30 days time, right? Where do you find properties? How do you find tenants, right? How do you negotiate with them, and how do you close the deal? So the entire process is is made in the form of about 48 video lessons, so which they can go through comfortably and then close a rental deal and earn a minimum of 25,000 rupees rent brokerage. Okay, that is what is the first level course. The second level course is about 90 days program. In that 90 days program, I have given them about 10-15 projects to be pick and choose. Any one you pick and choose, whichever you are comfortable with, and pick and choose that particular project and start working for that particular project and find buyers for that. If you crack one deal out of that, there is a possibility of that person earning around 3 lakhs brokerage for that particular project sale. So those are the kinds of projects that where developers have agreed to give this kind of brokerage. So I have chosen those kind of properties and worked on that, given them the kind of guidance how you can find buyers and close a deal on that. So that is the second level course. And I also have a third level course where I go through with them for about 12 months. In the 12 months period, every Monday and Friday, morning at 5:30, I conduct a mentorship program, 5:30 in the morning.
So that's wonderful, Mr. Sridhar. Why don't you put across a special message for all our viewers?
My mission is to see that, at least about 1 lakh children, there are 7,000 children who are dying out of hunger every day. Okay. And I'm on a mission to eradicate this hunger problem to some extent from my side. I know that I cannot totally make it a zero hunger, free problem. But I will definitely want to contribute a lot in that area. Okay. So I would request the kind-hearted philanthropists to come forward and then help No Hungry Child in achieving their mission of making no child should go to bed hungry. No child should go to bed hungry. So for that, if donors come forward and help No Hungry Child, then I'll be able to extend the service to close to around 1 lakh children. That is my next mission. I have achieved up to 21,000 children who are going through this nutritious meal program on a daily basis. But that should increase to next 1 lakh level. Of course, even then the hunger problem will not be eradicated, but let's move step by step. So I request the donors to come forward and help us. Thank you so much. You can visit nohungrychild.in, and in there I have got a donate button. So people can go there and click that donate button and then start donating. Payment gateways are all available. International donations also can come through PayPal accounts and all that. So people, whoever is interested, can come forward and donate.
Nothing in life is more liberating than to fight for a cause larger than yourself. In case your NGO wants to raise funds, you want to learn fundraising, you want to learn digital real estate, please get in touch with Sridhar ji. He is ready to mentor you. In case you want to donate, which you should, please go ahead and go through his website. His details are available on this feed, on this video. You can just click and donate. Thank you so much, and thank you, Sridhar ji, for this amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.